the problem here is there is a company, or there is a technical person in that company responsible for a data leak of people's personal IDs, and he won't accept any responsibility. He won't apologize to anybody, and instead of apologizing, he's gone around to basically, I don't know, trash talk or hunt people down. He's basically telling the guy who exposed the breach that he is hunting his address down. Like why? I mean, well, firstly, you could say, okay, well, the guy also exposed other people's IDs by sharing the link, but who has made that possible in the first place? It's the tech guy, Matija. He made the link, like, open for everybody to go to, and he won't accept any responsibility for putting unencrypted IDs onto basically a WordPress folder that anyone could have gone to, you know, by accident or by intention. There were already apparently hackers who found this before Jimmy. So Jimmy basically just did the thing, which is like just to say it out loud, which is, hey, I found this directory and here it is. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's some legal repercussions for him for sharing those IDs, but like the directory to those IDs. But if there was for him, then why wouldn't there be for the person who actually made it possible to even browse that directory? This gross negligence to leave people's unencrypted IDs onto a web server that anyone can access with no password, no encryption, no anything. You just literally need to know the folder name. Like, you just need to browse the folder. You don't need to know it in advance. You could just be randomly, you know, changing the URL in the browser. And I'm not aware of that as a, like, some kind of legal blocking of changing the URL. It might be in some places. There might be some really weird or strict restrictions towards people changing the directory name on the inside the URLs, but I doubt it, because there's something that many people could do intentionally or unintentionally, and I don't think it's the responsibility of the person browsing to not be protected from content that they shouldn't be seeing. Like, I just think that's a ridiculous way to approach internet law or internet security, to put the person browsing responsible for what they're browsing. I mean, they don't even know what they should be seeing until they see it. So there's no way that that person should be held responsible. For example, if you named a JPEG called dogs or something, or a folder, and then you like browse on it and it's people's personal IDs, or it's some kind of like child porn or whatever, and you didn't even know it beforehand, like, why should you be responsible for that? Like, if someone has left it there, that person is responsible. So I just find the whole situation very ridiculous. And, like, usually I don't criticize Twitch, but in this case, whoever made the decision to remove some content, basically because it was a link to something that they have checked or haven't checked, which had some IDs there but doesn't anymore because the guy fixed it or removed the IDs or whatever he did to fix it. Like, it doesn't make that much sense to censor the fact that this was an event, right? It doesn't make that much sense to censor on the platform and say, okay, this guy didn't Twitch this. That doesn't make any sense, since you can't access those IDs anymore. So if it was still accessible, then I would support Twitch in removing some of the view access from other people, which we don't know if they're going to do something irresponsible with those IDs or illegal with those IDs. So they have a precedent to protect those ID owners from subsequent like abuse or possible abuse. But in this case, it's just purely like, you know, this Twitch didn't happen. and it's still on the blockchain anyway, so of course it happened. But it's just like, I don't know, so disappointing to see people in that space acting that way. But it's just like, it's just such a small space also. Like, you're just trying to ask for people to be professional. It's like trying to like train some untrainable dog. Like, they just want to do their own thing. They're like not listening to reason. They're like just like trying to, I don't know, just ignore every kind of best practice there is. And that's terrible. I mean, people of course make mistakes, but they also, usually mature people will admit some kind of mistake, right? They're gonna admit that, okay, I shouldn't have done that. It was really irresponsible of me to put people's IDs on like basically an open directory. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what was going on in the head of that guy when he decided to put people's passport scans unencrypted on a directory. I don't understand what is the need for that, for one reason. Like, why would you need to have people's IDs unlocked on a web server? Secondly, why didn't you destroy the ID after checking the person's identity? Like, if it was a real identity verification site, they either have to store it securely or they destroy it after they've verified you, because the only reason they needed your ID in the first place was just to check it. It's not like, why do you need to keep that ID? It doesn't even make that much sense.